So this is a continuation of my discussion on the UK economy. Where's it going? How bad is it? And my conclusion astrologically and in terms of objective financial analysis is that the economy is faltering. There's no real economy at this point. Most of the economy is based on a planned economy, government subsidies, initiatives, and a service sector that is, again, very much propped up by the government. The other thing I'd like to mention in relation to where this economy is going now, astrologically, I think there will be a bailout. Will be absolutely pushed to breaking point. And some people are suggesting the government may even want a bailout because that'll bring in the IMF. Now that's shown by Neptune on the descendant, where the government are going to lose control and have to have the IMF tell them what to come in and do. And they could say rejoin the EU, which would give the government an excuse to do something which on the face of it is unpopular. But if the IMF says they have to do it, they kind of have to do it. So I'm wondering if that could be almost a kind of subtle strategy that the government are having, right? So astrologically, I think that this economy is going to suffer a huge shock from which the government won't be able to even manage it. And remember, I have a concurrent prediction going on that Keir Starmer will probably be gone in January. And we know Labour don't remove their leaders easily. It's not like the Tories. There's no 1922 committee and that kind of thing. So if Keir Starmer does go, it'll have to be as a result of pressure. So one of the reasons Keir Starmer might have to go is if there's this massive economic crisis and all these picks like Rachel Reeves and that are shown up for exactly what they are. By the way, I did a chart on Angela Rayner as well and her potential, so that might be interesting. Now, I said this was also going to be an objective analysis. It's not just about I'm saying on astrology. I wanted to give you an idea of what other people are saying, so I've been saving things on Twitter. So just when Keir Starmer was promising last month, he said, I promised workers at Jaguar Land Rover that I would protect their jobs. What has happened? They've lost 500 jobs. I know they kind of went woke on their advert, so that didn't help. Now, very important, another 41,000 jobs were lost in the UK in June. Unemployment has gone up 4.7%, right? The number of job vacancies is dropping in a vertical line, down 56,000 in June, which is over 7% of the total vacancies available. The UK is sleepwalking into a major economic disaster. The whole Nick thing's been a total failure, right? I noticed someone was saying the last time Britain felt like this was in the 70s, but they mentioned that Britain had two feathers in its cap in the 70s. They were rescued by North Sea oil, right, which was a big boon to the economy, and Maggie Thatcher did the deregulation of the city when she came in, which also boosted the economy. Neither of those are going to happen this time. It's going to get only worse with net zero. So, we got out of it in 1976, but it's apparently 4 times worse without North Sea oil. All right. UK unemployment up, jobs are going, growth's declining, inflation is rising, yet Reeves isn't creating prosperity. She's creating an economic disaster movie. Well, it's not really Reeves, is it? She's just going to be the fall guy because she's too stupid to even realize. Another tweet here, HMRC payrolls fall another 41k in June, the 8th month straight decline. So, of course, this NIC increase would be an amazing advantage, hasn't it? Peter Hitchens, as I was saying, says the economic circumstances now are 4 times worse than what led to the IMF coming in 1976. Someone else mentions if a population needs endless population growth to function, economy needs this population growth to function, then basically you don't have an economy, you have a pyramid scheme, right? Rightio. By the way, a quote from Mendelssohn, this came out in the Mail Online. Immigrants, he says, we sent out search parties to get them to come and we made it hard for Britons to get work. Interesting. Let's follow that through today and ask what's happening. Don't you see nurses complaining? UK trained nurses, they can't get jobs, but they importing agency staff, which cost a bomb, right? A bomb. Interesting, isn't it? Right. The UK inflation rate went up unexpectedly, they reported, after the government increased taxes and the minimum wage. This, of course, was, impossible to predict. Not really. Absolutely no one could have expected this except anyone with a brain. Seriously, though, how many times do the media going to use the word unexpectedly to kind of cover up that these things are totally foreseeable? Yeah. So another thing, if you earn £120,000 in the UK a year, you keep just 29 pence in a pound now. And it's only getting worse. And with all the high taxes, the red tape, it's killing entrepreneurship, job ownership. The only people who are going to create jobs are those who've got crony capitalism and getting government contracts because they are assured profit and they kind of in a special category, aren't they? Now look at this. The UK's sovereign bond yield looks something like the rise of Bitcoin. New highs. It's worse than Greece or France. The government budget massively increases spending. It destroys the economy with more taxes, but no one resigns, right? So, the sovereign debt yield is far worse than when Liz Truss was forced to resign. But of course, nothing's being said now. Interesting post here. Next stop, the IMF, question mark. Well, I say probably yes, it is. The rate of interest on UK 10-year gilts is now higher than one-time European fiscal basket cases, Greece and Italy. I remember so well the Greek and Italian debt crisis from just after, it was like 2012-ish, was it? And those economies were in dire straits, and now the UK is much worse than those, what they were called basket cases. The increasingly perilous predicament and a political class seemingly incapable of doing anything about it. Well, it might be by design. Plough and pivot, like I say, driving us to this for a certain reason. Then they obviously surmising that the globalists in charge of labour are wrecking the economy, so we can have this IMF bailout, and the IMF will demand return to the EU, which could be quite manipulative, couldn't it? So political and economics collapse is obviously on the cards, cannot be avoided, because no country can endure the depths of ineptitude of our governing classes. And one more tweet here. A federation of small business shows more small businesses expect to downsize or shut up shop totally than grow over the next 12 months. The sentiment is the worst in 17 years. So, I think the astrological analysis says this economy is in dire straits, that something is going to crack, and a big shock to the economy. I don't know, it could be something to do with war, something escalation with war in Ukraine. Look how Trump's now talking. He's totally switched. He's just become a neocon. He's switched on everything. Oh, Jeffrey Epstein file, don't worry about that. You're evil even to talk about it. It's old news. He was a great guy. Yeah. Plus, what else is he saying? Oh, he wants to supply Ukraine with weapons so they can hurt Russia. So, look, he's done a total switch on us. So anything could happen, right? Bearing in mind the switch Donald Trump's done, anything is possible. But as I say, astrologically, a major shock can just push this thing right off the rails. And then there's going to be a bailout needed. Like I say, everything that's going on in the economy is totally unsustainable, and hopefully you've enjoyed this chat, and I've given you a lot of sort of news insight, both astrological or objective, that you can take away and think about. Thanks, guys.